This particular assignment for this 20-year-old new member of the force is to come right downtown here to Salem Street and to protect the members of a group who are having a rally, a protest right here on our Salem Street. And this group is notorious for being one of the biggest hate groups. Right. And when you show up on the scene, oh, they direct their vitriol right at you. It's not because of who you are. It's not because of your character, your purpose. It's because of the color of your skin. And this is where leadership is cultivated. This is the breeding ground where you got to decide, who am I going to be? And as this group is marching down, you decide that you're going to do what you were assigned to do. You're going, regardless of what they're saying, regardless of what they're doing, you are going to stand your ground and protect these people. What was going through your mind at that time when you were looking out that window? What were you seeing that you said, I don't want to be a part of this. I want to be a part of something better?
A lot, man. A lot. A lot of drugs. A lot of people that were close to me just doing unacceptable things. And it would just really, really disturb me to no end. And when I first decided I'm going to be a police officer,
okay,
and I went back and told members of my community, Justice Heights, my family members, I'm going to be a police.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I
Take
I got
us
a few
there.
laughs, and I got a few stares, and you better not do that.
Wow.
We tell you who you are and what you're going to do. And I said, no, I'm going to do this. I know this is it. Finally hit graduation, nobody's there. I'm there all alone. Everybody else got family and friends. No one is there.
What's up? What's happening, man? How you doing, sir? Oh, man, thank you for showing up,
Hey,
brother.
man, it's on, man.
I appreciate
I've
you.
been wanting to make this work so much, and I know we're
Super
crossing
excited.
but we're here. We're here.
I love it. Come on, grab a seat.
Okay,
Grab a
alright,
seat,
perfect,
man.
perfect.
Have a seat, sir. Thank you. Yes. Man, so yeah, we have been working on this for some time.
Yes.
I told it this wasn't going to be a real thing if I didn't have the Jacques on here. This wasn't even, it can't even count.
Well, I know you connected with me a while ago, and I told you, yes, most definitely. I love what you're doing here, and so many benefits of what you provide to the community in this way. So I just want to say thank you.
No, thank you, man. I've been really understanding through these interviews that there is a different stream of content that is connecting with people that is different from the traditional ways. I mean, I'm sure you fully understand that, you know, and it's, people are not sitting down watching TV like they're used to. So the way they digest information it's different, and we want to be able to be a part of providing knowledge on all the amazing things going on out here, man. I can't pick up my phone without seeing something else happening. It's like, we love it. So yeah, this is a great place, and I want to make sure that I contribute to that.
Yes, sir. You're doing it. You're doing
Thank
a great
you.
job. Keep
Thank you
it
very much.
moving.
Yes, definitely, definitely. Well, okay, so thank you for stopping in today. You know, we appreciate you. So, the way we normally start this thing off is I like to bring the audience in and try to get them where I am, and I like to paint a little picture.
Okay.
So let me paint this picture real quick, because this is, oh man, I'm so excited that, you know, I want people to understand. I think this episode is going to be one that is really going to connect with the intended people, because this story is one that is about purpose, right? And what if your purpose doesn't show up all at the same time, right? What if it's brought to you moment by moment, through people, through conversations, through decisions that you don't even fully understand, right? So I want to go back. We're going to go back. We got to go back. We got to go back to 1980.
Yes.
We're going to, I mean, this is when Mike was still making hits. Mike was dropping it. And I mean, George Benson, Give Me the Night. This is, you know, and we're going to go right down the street, just past 55, right across down Salem, right behind Albright Funeral Home, to the community of Justice Heights, right? And at this time, this was the projects, right? This was the projects at that time. You know, people didn't have much, but they were resourceful, right?
100%. Yes.
So if we didn't have the restaurant, or, you know, in the area, somebody gonna make some plates,
On the way.
right? If we don't have the stores and the shops, somebody gonna open a shop up right in the house.
That's it.
Right? You know what I mean? That is what we're about. And if we don't have any clubs or anywhere to hang out, we're gonna open up a juke joint right in the back in the shack, and we gonna enjoy ourselves.
Yes.
You know,
Right.
so that's what it was about. That was the time. That was the culture. And we mind our business, and we look out for our own, and we definitely don't talk to the police.
That was it.
That was the code.
Yes.
That was the culture at the time,
That's
right?
right. That's right.
You know, and in the midst of all that going on, and the 80s just coming in, and you know, all kind of things happening, there's this little boy, this skinny little boy, and he's a shy boy, and he is just with his brothers, walking on down to Mr. Hughes to get.
Man, he know Mr. Hughes. Wow,
Come on.
man. Oh my God.
He's walking down to Mr. Hughes with his brothers, and he's just going to get that Pepsi Cola and that moon pie, and maybe a piece of bubble gum for the walk home.
Yeah, you did your research.
Come on.
Wow.
He's just there, right? But in the midst of all of that, he's observant. And he's watching the world. He's like Nas. He's looking out his project window, and he's seeing what's going on. And he's realizing that he's different. And that's not what he sees for himself. He doesn't think he's better, but he's different. And so we sitting in that room at 600 First Street, and we in there sharing a room with our brother, and we're looking out into the woods over there. We're waiting for someone to tell us, this is who you are. And that's not unlike a lot of kids at that time, just trying to understand what is their purpose and who they really are, right? And so this young man may have thought his purpose was going to be a big-time basketball star. he thought he was going to be Phil Ford, Rocky Mount, UNC, baby.
Come on now, number 12.
Come on. He said he's going to be Phil Ford.
Yeah.
But you know what? Man makes plans and God laughs.
Yes, sir. Yes.
He laughs because he knows his plan will be revealed in time.
Come on now.
Right?
That's right.
So whether that is through a conversation or whether it's just through a moment, like getting cut from the basketball team. That might have cleared some things up at that time, you know? So this young man here, still figuring it out. He graduates. He said, I got to man up. He said, I'm going to do like my dad. I'm going to go get me a job and work for the town. He said he locks in. He gets to reading meters over in Cary. He's out there reading the meters, but it's not connecting. That's not it. And then one of the first voices in this story comes into play. A co-worker, Phil Howard, says, man, I left this job and now I'm over at the Raleigh Police Department and I'm making a difference every day. And something about that connects. Something hits right there. And you say, man, and he tells you, you should look into that. And just like he said, you accepted that assignment and you went and you're locked in. Next thing you know, you working nights at the drugstore. This boy is taking an hour to go up to Wilson Tech Coastal Plains to the police academy. And at 20 years old, you put your hand up and you take that oath. That's right. Amazing, man. And now you're in. It's about no longer wondering what the purpose is. You're in the mix of it, right? And so 9 years go by. 9 years of working out with the guys. 9 years on that patrol, on the beat, dealing with the people, everyday people of the town. And 9 years later, there's no more skinny, shy Jacques, right?
That's right.
And this story is about that boy becoming Officer Gilbert. And right after this, the 9 years, and you think you got it figured out and you think you know what the plan is, another voice comes in. And that voice says, hey, there's an opportunity down at your old stomping grounds at the high school. And you jump on that. You take that assignment. You're in there 12 to 3 in the afternoons. You are the school resource officer. And this young, shy boy is now digging in with the kids. And he's shocked to find out that these kids have all kind of cars, opportunities available to them. But they are still not happy. There's still something missing, and there's still something that's not connecting for a lot of the kids. And the only person they could come talk to about it that they feel comfortable talking to is Officer Jacques. That's right. That's what they call him.
That's right.
And so you dig in. This young man from the projects is now listening and guiding and helping these kids. And in the process of doing that, you fall in love with it. You feel connected to being able to give back to these kids. As soon as you get comfortable, another voice comes in. That's right. Is that Captain Boone, our new chief of police, calls up and says, listen, I know you love what you're doing, but we're pulling you out of there, kicking and screaming. He pulls you out the school. You say, I love this. And he says, but I see something else in you. And that boy, he sees something in him that he doesn't even see in himself. That's right. And he pulls you out. He wants you training. You one of his officers who've been here with the experience. He needs you to help some of these new officers. You're going into training. You're going to help these officers. And now, 6 months later, you're a sergeant. And you continue on, and the boy keeps growing and keeps being promoted. And what the chief was right. He was very promotable. He keeps going on. He excels. Next thing you know, he's the captain of the force, second in command. And it's almost 30 years of service. And you're getting ready to take it down. You're ready to sit on the back porch and hang out now. But that's not it, because this time another voice comes. And it's not a coworker. It's not a boss. This one comes from inside. This one is the voice of God telling you, right in the state of the town meeting, as you're listening to the current mayor announce that he's about to run for re-election, and you preparing to get you on your way out the door, you ready to go sit on the back porch. But that voice says, why not you? And as you've done so many times before, you answered that assignment. And all of the kids in the town and the people that you've helped all this time, they get behind you, man. And so much so that the mayor recognizes that he falls. He said he drops right out. And now that shy, skinny boy from the projects is the 32nd mayor of Apex. It's amazing. You've put the time and effort in. You made yourself into who you are today. But I'm not going to ask you what's next. I'm not going to ask you what's next. What I want to know is, where's that next voice going to come from? Is it going to be Calabria again? I know she's normal. She's in there. Is it going to be, is it the men's group? Where's that next voice? Where is it going to come from? What is really going on here?
Wow, you really are an artist. You painted that picture so well.
Thank you,
My goodness. Oh, my gosh. I had to take a lot of time and research. So, wow, I'm just impressed by that.
I really enjoyed learning so much, man, because I think what people see is so much just the tip of the iceberg, man. And so that's what I want to know. Help us understand what's really going on.
This is, as you shared, I never saw myself, I never believed I would be sitting here talking to you about the history of Jacques Gilbert and then the current state of things, being the 32nd mayor.
Yeah.
1 year left in my second term. What's going on? There's a lot going on.
It's a lot going on.
There's a lot going on. That's a question that I've had to ask myself in the past year and a half. Like, Jacques, what's going on? And to your point, the next assignment, I do recognize that I never intended to be in this seat forever. I mean,
yeah.
It's just not, it's never been the plan, but I will stay here as long as God needs me here. Okay. So the question, where's that next voice? It's got to come from him. It's got to come from the inside. Because I understand one thing is on the heels of another. One assignment builds for the next. I know this is not the end.
No, you don't look like you're slowing down at all. I don't see that. And everybody is pitched in. You got your finger on the pulse of the town, right? Right now, you started off running for mayor saying it was time for a reset, right? And now it's 2026. What did that reset look like? Why did you think Apex needed a reset?
That's a great question. I wanna share that timeline when you asked me that question. So it's
Yeah.
time for a reset and what Apex looked like in 2019. And if you fast forward to 2026, we know it looks a lot different.
Sure.
I would say growing up here, I knew what I wanted to see. I wanted to see more diversity. I wanted to see more connections. I really felt like we were a good homegrown, people had the hospitality, everybody, they got along for the most part, but I knew there was something more that we could accomplish. And when you look at a thriving town, you see examples all over the nation. I just believe that we could be more, we can do more. And it started with establishing more connections. And that was the reset I had in mind with creative ideas. And that was it. I get asked the question often, what is Apex's biggest challenge today and then into the future, 5, 10, 20 years from now? It's easy. It's communication. That's our biggest challenge. And going back to what you're doing, we need people like you, sharing the information, the things that we're accomplishing, the challenges that we face, and how it connects us together. And that's what I was looking to do. That's the reset.
I really, really agree. I think that one of the biggest things that connects us here in Apex is that communication right now. And we may not all see each other all the time, but we are all tuned in to that channel, that Instagram page, and we're watching that happen every day. So when we do see each other, we are connected, and we can talk about, Olive Chapel, we could talk about the data, and we could talk about all the things, because we have a similar, we all have a little piece to come from.
That's right.
Right? And I think that is a huge piece about why I'm doing what I'm doing. I'll be totally honest with you. I never really watched or listened to podcasts, you know what I mean? And I didn't know much about podcasting, but I've been in Apex for 3 years. And I've seen how you've been moving. And I've seen my buddy Hugh here and him go from a barber in another shop to opening his own shop. And I've been here for the whole thing in the community. And when we walk down the street and we wave hi to all the shop owners and all, I mean, my son thinks he's in a sitcom, he thinks this is like a movie. Awesome. And it really is. A lot of places don't have that connectivity. And whether we have differences or not, there's always some common ground.
That's right.
For us to stand on, right? And that's important as a community. And I have talked to several people on this podcast from all over the country, who are now here. And one of the things that I hear all the time is that it's something about Apex. It's a little bug that bites you. And you don't just want to enjoy and get a piece of everything that's going on. You want to contribute.
All day. Contribute, for sure.
You want to give back to it.
That's right.
So help me understand, right? So we were taking it back, right? And I know you talked a lot about one of the big things that helped set you on the right path was understanding that you were different and you needed to separate yourself from the people who had a certain view of you, and to get outside, get away from those people who were limiting you, and to get into a new arena where there was no ceiling, right? So I want to ask you, what did Justice Heights look like? But when you were looking out that window, what were you seeing that you said, I don't want to be a part of this. I want to be a part of something better?
A lot, man. A lot. A lot of drugs. A lot of people that were close to me just doing unacceptable things, and it would just really, really disturb me to no end.
And you said that you knew you were different, but in a community, in an atmosphere like that, being different can look like you're vulnerable.
Yep.
What did different feel like at that time?
One of the things I probably haven't shared a lot is my dad was out working a lot, and he was out a lot. My mom was always there, to the point she would say, "You can't go anywhere. You're going to stay in the yard." And at the time, my brothers and I thought that was the worst thing ever, because we felt like super sheltered. But we look back now, and it was the best thing that could ever happen, based on some of the people that I went to school with and my friends in the community, and what could have happened to me had she not taken things to that point. And I tell her that every time we talk. Mom, I love you. I thank you for keeping me right there by your side. She kind of says, I felt like I limited you guys, but no, we're here. We're good.
Yeah,
we're good.
Thank you for the limiting,
yes.
because you know what? That is not uncommon. That is a cultural thing, right? You only going to be able to play from that lamppost to that lamppost. You could go from the corner to here, from this part of the house. Don't pass that line. That is very common, because we're trying to give an opportunity to the kids and to be out and to play and have fun. But we a little wiser as adults, and we know what can happen. So we trying to keep you close.
That's right.
Keep you safe.
Yes.
Right? And I wonder, did you feel the pressure to get involved in what was going on? Was there ever a time that you kind of maybe was at risk of trying to be a part of that for whatever reason?
No, not at all. I just didn't think I didn't have the confidence for number one, and everybody was a lot bigger. I felt like they were more experienced in things, and I was just this little skinny boy. And mind your business. We shared earlier, don't talk to the police. I see, people running from the police, and the police stops, and I'm in my backyard playing basketball. Police always say, "Did you see somebody run by here?" And one time I said, "Yes, he went that way." And my mom saw the whole thing. And that was the last time I did that.
Wow. I'm telling you, the culture is so deep, man. It's so ingrained, and it goes so far back, but it is a safety mechanism.
That's right. All day.
It's about trying to make it through this part of life and get to that other part. You talked a lot about waiting for someone to tell you who you are and what is that purpose. Let me ask you, why do you think so many young people are in that place right now where they're kind of sitting and waiting for something to come and tell them who they are? Why do you think that is?
It's interesting you asked that question in 2026 with the advancement of technology. It's so accessible to watch different videos of really inspiring people to really dream and believe, and don't fall for the noise, and you can do anything that you set your mind to do, right? With God, all things are possible. However, there's always the other voices that often drown out those inspirational, encouraging videos, and people just resort right back to it. It's all they know. And that was Jacques Gilbert as well. I mean, even in the police department, going back to when, Chief Boone said, "I'm sending you to defensive tactics school, physical training, you're going to be our fitness instructor," all those things, SRT, tactical. I was like, I can't do that. He said, "You can do it. You can do it." And so I remember going to the school and coming back with all of the experience and ready to roll. And I remember the very first class I taught, I blew it.
You were ready.
It was terrible.
So ready to go.
Terrible. It was terrible. But he said, get back up and do it again. Wow. Consistency. I remember he said consistency. You just got to keep doing it over and over, and you'll get better. And that was the true lesson for me at that time. I said, I see something now. You just got to continue to do it over and over and over again.
Wow. Let me ask you, what does it feel like to not know your purpose? What is that time in your life when you're trying to figure, graduating, you're going, you're getting your first job, you're trying to see where you fit. What does it feel like to not know where you should be?
Man, it feels to me, if there's ever a time where you're dropped off in the middle of nowhere and you have no idea how to get to the next point, and you're just sitting there, you feel like you're just on a treadmill and you're not getting anywhere. Your feet are moving, but you're not gaining any ground. That's how I felt.
Wow.
And I just would look in the mirror and say, who am I? I know there's something more.
I heard that from you several times, that you didn't know what it was, but you knew it was something. You said, I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'm going to do something.
I'm going to do something. And I tried a lot of things, but it finally connected, and I'm so thankful.
Amen. The boy that thought he was going to be Phil Ford actually was much more like Phil Howard.
That's good right there. That's so good. That's so good.
I just think that is amazing, good, man.
Yes, that's a good one. I love that one.
Yes. So we come to the point in the show. This segment that we're going to get into is called A Seat at the Table, right? This is the point where we ask you to take us behind some of those closed doors and give us insight into what goes on normally in your industry, right? So for yourself, for instance, I know we talked about purpose.
Yes.
And purpose gets tested.
Man, come on. 100%.
When you found a little path and you got on it and you raised your hand and you took that oath and you were one of 12, the only one that looked like you of the 12. Next thing you know, you find yourself agreeing to this assignment again. You take this assignment. This story is about somebody who doesn't know exactly where they're going, but they're willing to take the assignment long enough for life to start to make sense. And this particular assignment for this 20-year-old new member of the force is to come right downtown here to Salem Street and to protect the members of a group who are having a rally, a protest right here on our Salem Street. And this group is notorious for being one of the biggest hate groups. Right. And when you show up on the scene, they direct their vitriol right at you. It's not because of who you are. It's not because of your character, your purpose. It's because of the color of your skin. And this is where leadership is cultivated. This is the breeding ground where you got to decide, who am I going to be? And as this group is marching down, you decide that you're going to do what you were assigned to do. You're going, regardless of what they're saying, regardless of what they're doing, you are going to stand your ground and protect these people. What was going through your mind at that time?
I want to go back to when I first decided I'm going to be a police officer.
Okay.
And I went back and told members of my community, Justice Heights, my family members, I'm going to be a police.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I
Take
I
us
got a few
there.
laughs and I got a few stares, and you better not do that.
Wow.
We tell you who you are and what you're going to do. And I said, no, I'm going to do this. I know this is it. I go to Wilson Tech, drive every single day, come home, go to the drugstore, work till midnight, do it all over again. Wow. Finally hit graduation, nobody's there. I'm there all alone. Everybody else got family and friends. No one is there. Okay? So moving on to that moment, people were telling me, you're going to work, you're going to be the only one at the Apex Police Department. You know those guys are not going to accept you there? That's what they said.
They're going to tell you that from the door. Everybody's got that perspective.
It was totally opposite. These guys took me in and treated me as a brother. Wow. So moving on to that point, we had already talked. And they told me how they felt about them. And they said, you don't have to worry about a thing. They had already demonstrated this to me as well. We got your back. Let me add another layer. At that time, I knew who I was. I didn't need to rely on them to tell me who I was. So if they pulled me out of my character and my identity as Jacques Gilbert, the leader, to go back at something they were saying, I've lost myself and my identity. So I just relied on that, and thank God it worked out.
You know, a lot of what I found when I looked into all the things been happening since the 1980s, it seemed a lot to me like your steps have been ordered. You know, and it's like you kind of got your eyes, you just taking that next step. You just sticking with it long enough. Is that how you feel?
It is exactly how I feel. Looking at it now, for sure. In the moment, 5, 10, 15 years ago, no, I didn't. It wasn't that clear. But now, man, it is crystal clear. And I want to add one more thing. So that moment, and then when I took the oath of office to go into the mayor's office, 2020, right? We know what was going on there. We had COVID, and we also had what else going on?
We had a lot of unrest at that time.
That's right. It was like now it's moving to Apex, and we getting calls from individuals that were calling the police department, calling town hall, say we're coming to destroy your downtown as well. The next day, I get a young man to come to my office and say, hey, we want to protest in downtown. I knew this young man. All that is happening, it's all together. And I'm like, what am I going to do? But here's what I did. So the night of the individuals that were calling to basically say, we're going to come crash your downtown.
Yeah.
I sat downtown with the police and said, I'm going to be right there with the police. Okay. The other young man, it was just a matter of hearing his voice and hearing the voices of people that perhaps we had never heard from before, that had experiences that we didn't know anything about. And we ended up doing a peaceful protest, and it was so successful.
Wow.
It was more of a unity walk. And it was me and my family in the middle, the police on one side, and then the protesters on the other side. And it was one group of people walking lockstep down Salem Street.
Wow.
Together without incident.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Especially, I mean, the imagery of something like that, right? That goes a long way. I talk a lot of times, even back in the day, especially much more now. If they see a picture of Andre in the cockpit, Andre's a pilot, right? He flies planes. There's no research, there's no background. They see the imagery and they just, so putting that type of imagery, I think is so important for people to just, even without the volume, just to see the picture and the image of it makes a lot. But during those kind of times, that's when leadership has to step up. And that's when, I know you say a lot of times you can fake caring, but you can't fake being there.
You can pretend to care, but you can't pretend to be there. There it is, right there.
You were there, sat right there, and you brought the community together during a time when it was very adversarial. You were on the other side of this conversation, right? You're not on the side, but I think you had laid the foundation already of who you are. And it's something that you're self-guided, something internal that you're able to hold on to through all the different circumstances. So
if I can add one last thing.
Please.
You talked about God's ordered steps. The steps were ordered. The civil unrest. You have a mayor who happens to be black, who has police experience in this town, and he brings everyone together. The steps were ordered.
Who else could have did that at that time? We talk about, your presence and being available, and everybody feels like you're accessible. They feel like they're only a day or two away from you walking in the door, and that's what I think keeps the community together, that we have a central focus, right? But when you deal with stuff like that, and you have this history of policing, when does the policing stop being a job and start to be your purpose and your calling? When did that happen?
I think for me, I think there's a different time for officers. It depends on your background, what police department community you work in. For me, it was clearly when I made a decision to go to Apex High School as a school resource officer. I knew then, like, this feels so good.
Wow.
I could truly see the impact, and it just took off, man. And I still see those young people today. They have their own families, and it's so, oh my gosh, so fulfilling to see how successful they are.
I think about that time when you're going into the school and you get in there, you don't necessarily know. You're like, okay, I like the kids, I want to help. But you get in there and you see there's a space for you. Something is needed right here, and you can feel that.
Yes.
What is it like when you are in that position and you're helping these kids? Do you feel like you're almost helping yourself, like the younger you?
Yes, 100%. The energy just comes out.
That's what I'm thinking.
It's like, where's this energy coming from? And I want more. I want more of it.
Yeah.
And that's how it was. I never tired, and I knew I was in the right place.
Same as you said, you knew you were in the right place. You loved being there, and you were in the right place. And it's evident by all the people that you helped. And then it was time for you to move to the next place, right? And when you did that, one thing I found that was so interesting, you ran nonpartisan. You didn't take the support and the funding from this side or from that side. You said that your campaign was just about the people. Why did you do that? That seemed to me like it would be a radical decision, when you got the big powers that be that can get behind someone else. Why did you do that?
If I'm going to accomplish a reset, I need to have full authority. I need to have full ownership, and I can't be controlled. I have to have the flexibility to do it the way that I was called to do it. And if it's controlled, it's not Jacques doing it. It's a group. And then I'll add too, I just didn't think, I knew I didn't need that. I really believed that I had the support of the people in this community, and we're at that same level today.
That's awesome, man. That's just amazing. In this day and age where, we're finding out more and more about the deals that go on in the back rooms and the handshakes and the winks, for someone, to totally go a different path from that. As I was putting this episode together, I said this episode is going to be about projects to progress. That's what I said. And that was my thought process. But as I kept going through, one thing was like in the back of my mind that this is like a pure soul. It was weird. I'm like, as the more I'm doing, and when you look at where you came from and the challenges that I'm sure you had to deal with, especially like you said, they know the street life. You from this part of the yard to this part of the yard, and they know the street life, and they're big, and they're running, and they got all this experience, and you're here. And you got to figure out how you're going to make it to get to where you are today. It's almost like it had to be written.
That's well said. Yeah.
It's like it had to be written, man. And I see that. And I see someone every step of the way choosing the people.
Wow.
That is, I'm a realtor.
That's good.
I'm in sales, right? People say realtors, you better watch out. They're doing everything. They're talking fast.
Right.
But it's true that it's so much that goes on in the world and everybody's moving fast and so much to look out for. I think one of the things why this town gravitates toward you is that it is almost this carefree, pure joy for the town, for the place that you're in, and a gratitude. When you think about some of those other paths that you could have went down, and that you stood for what was right, how do you reconcile that with all of the people that say you can't be a police officer, you can't be the mayor, all these things that you can't do? How did you overcome those limiting beliefs to accomplish so much?
Man, when you pass the first test and it's, oh my gosh, I got an A+. I did this. I got more confidence. I can take another test. And you keep taking the test. Wow. And you may get a few problems wrong, but I passed the test.
I'm here.
I'm here. And I think that is what happened to me. It's just one thing on the heels of another. I've accomplished this. I know I'm good. But there's one word I want to say, because it could have been the other way. And I know there are people in my community, they just don't know anything different. So the word is grace. I give people grace.
Come on now.
And that could be segueing to something else, but talking about the rooms, being in the rooms and what I do day to day, if you don't have grace and you're going to do it right, it's never going to work.
There's no chance.
The grace it's got to be there, because it will crush you based on the things that I see and hear and things I never expected to see.
Listen, I know the DMs, the text messages, I know they're fully loaded,
Yeah,
and I totally understand that. So let's do this, right? Mm-hmm. Our next segment that we're going to get into now is called The Summit.
Okay.
Right? So this is about, now you've reached this space where you can kind of have a greater view of things, right? You're at the summit and you can see what has already happened and you're seeing what is to come, right? So this has been a lot about purpose, right? And purpose doesn't always arrive fully formed, right? It has to be built through some different moments. It's built through some difficulties. And you start to talk about the challenges that you face as you grow, right? And as you're talking about those challenges that you face as you grow, maybe the question is not who am I or who am I going to be? Who am I supposed to be? Maybe the question is just, am I willing to stay in this assignment long enough for life to figure itself out?
Man, you nailed it. Because that's real. Because oftentimes it gets hot and we just bail out.
This must not be my place.
We got it. Yeah. And I've tried to talk to so many people over the years, like they either work for the town of Apex or another role, like just give it some time. It just, you got to go through it.
That's what they say.
I can tell you, like I've seen this before. Just ride it out. It'll be fine. Go through it.
It's amazing. Yeah. You know, we're not gonna go too deep. I told you, I knew I was gonna be preaching. I said I'm gonna be preaching on this episode, man, because this is like, I feel it strongly. Yes. But to think about the people that just came in and you didn't know that was gonna happen, and you didn't know this word, and you thought, you like, man, I'm about to be out of here. I'm about to be on the highway patrol in a minute. Y'all don't even know. I'm about to get me one of them hats.
There you go. Boy, he did his research. All right, good. Gracious of life. My man.
I'm going to get me one of them hats. I'm going to be looking good in that suit on the highway and everything.
That's right. That was another voice.
Said, no way. Stick it out.
Yeah.
When you say grace, you gotta have grace for other people, because maybe they didn't get that word.
They didn't get the word.
Maybe they didn't get that message at the right time, and you did.
Yes.
And you heard it. And you I'm gonna go. I'm gonna take that assignment. You know, so there's other people, and you know, but for the grace, could be me. Right? So when we're at this summit and we're looking back, right? We're looking back 7 years as mayor already, right? And all the things that you've accomplished. What has this assignment taught you about yourself that you didn't know before? Because, I mean, you just going right along. You just go. Now you're looking back. We're at the summit. We're looking back. What did this 7 years teach you about yourself?
Yeah. I've thought about that question a lot as of late. This is what it taught me. Stop comparing yourself to other people, because I want you to do it this way. Period. And that finally grabbed me after the first term. And I said, I'm making it way too hard. I'm just going to lean into it.
That is a word right there, man. I tell you, you're making it way too hard.
Just do it the way I told you to do it. Your way. That's it. I know. Hey,
oh my goodness.
It's a simple concept,
sometimes
but that's what it is.
It's simple.
That's it.
It don't always have to be calculus.
Yes.
Just do it. You know what? I'll tell you one thing. Not too long ago. This is not a long time ago. Something awoken in me one day to realize I've always, wanted to have a relationship with my God.
Yes, sir.
But I like math. I'm a mathematician, and so a lot of the things I want to do the research, I want to understand, and we start to talk about the voice of God, and you praying, and you tell me where I should be, what I should be doing. I tell my son all the time, everybody wants to be told what to do. I know you don't think that makes sense, but every single person, if you could wake up in the morning, somebody could call you and say, this is what you need to, this is all you got to do today, people would be so happy. Oh, that's all I got to, okay, let me go do it. But when you're waiting for that voice, sometimes you're waiting for the clouds to rumble and the lights to flicker and everything.
That's it. Talk to me, man.
But it might just be that in your own head, and it's saying, why not you?
That's it.
Just go do it do it your way.
Yes.
And so I say that because, man, this podcast, before I started, I said, you know what? I could get on here and we could have a good old time. I could just be Andre and we could turn up and, and I know people gonna love that and we're gonna get a bunch of likes and everything. But I wanted something different. I had a different goal for this. And it was a different goal than I've ever had, right? And I saw this as an opportunity for me to explore some other parts of myself. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna get on Beyonce's internet and I'm gonna be this, I'm gonna button it up.
Yes.
And I'm gonna talk slow and I'm gonna be reserved and I'm gonna show that eloquence and vocabulary. I'm a Stephen Adam.
There you go.
And as I I try to figure out what my first episode, I try to figure out how to be that. And I struggled because it's not that I wanted to be fake, but I wanted to show this thing. And the more that I'm sat in this chair and I met with people and the more these conversations happen, I'm like, man, you just gotta be yourself.
That's it, man.
It's not always so hard. It could be simple, but just because it's simple don't mean it's gonna be easy.
That right there. Oh man, say that again.
Yes. Simple could be hard.
Simple could be hard. Yeah.
And then that first term, you realize something about who you were, and that was enough.
That's it. And when I first got elected, I reached out to other mayors who I believe were doing it like these guys are real, and they were getting reelected over and over. One mayor 20 years, the other mayor 25 years. It's like y'all been man, that's a long time.
I got it locked in.
But they said the exact same thing. I said, just give me a nugget. I just want to know. They said it's easy. Just be yourself. I said, what else? That's it. Because they said typically what they see or what they have seen with other mayors that get elected, the people elect that person, that version, and then they get into office and then they script change or something. They just change and believe they have to be someone else.
Somebody was sitting in that chair right there, a wise man. His name's TJ. A wise man sat in that chair. And you know what he said? He said that he related it to sports. And he said, sometimes you work so hard that whole season and you have a great season and you get 30-0 and you made it to the playoffs and everybody's supporting you. And as soon as you get to the playoffs, now you want to change. You think you need to switch it up and do something different.
That's it.
When really you might have already had everything. It already was there.
That's a good one. I like that one.
He's a wise man.
He's a wise man. He's an old soul, as they say.
I believe that, man. That's another individual that has really given me the confidence to say that, man, there could be a place for me in this community.
It is there, man. You are a man sent. I know it. I'm looking at you right now, telling you I know it, and I'm just blessed to be here with you, man.
Man, I think this is definitely, we were talking about another thing I want to bring up, right? So we talking about the summit, right? And you can kind of see things, and one of the questions I've been asking is about culture. Mm-hmm. And does Apex have a culture? And if so, what is that culture? And I've been talking to some of the tastemakers like TJ and Gianni and, you know, some of the people, Joey Graz and the
Joey Graz. My guy. Yeah.
My God, Joey Graz. And some of the people that are kind of setting the table for what's going on. And we talk about culture and does Apex have a culture? We got the man in the seat right now. In your experience, what do you think the culture of Apex is? For people that are outside and don't understand, may have a misconception, what do you think the culture of Apex is?
I will tell you, not in a prideful way, but I've been here a long time.
Okay.
As you know, born and raised here and
Respect that.
lay of the land. I know it. I believe it. I meet a lot of people every single day. I can truly tell you this. Apex is a community that you will be accepted. I truly believe that.
Wow.
Now one may say, I didn't have that experience. Well, we need to have a discussion and let's figure that out. But if you think about it, you walk down the street, people are saying hello. But here's a bigger one. If Mayor Jacques Gilbert puts out a need to the community, we have this individual who they're experiencing hardship. We need X amount of money. Every single time I've done that, within days it's met. What does that tell you about this community? There's empathy there. And really, there's some haters out there. We understand that.
Of course.
But the community at large, we all want all of this whole community to succeed, like everyone in it. We may not say it a lot. There might be a little jealousy streak here or there, but for the most part, we really want people here to thrive. And that's who we are. Apex is a community unified in the stewardship of our small town character, natural environment for a future where all succeed. Wow. Not just one group, not just one individual, all. And it starts at the top. Mm-hmm. And it flows. But everyone can contribute in their own way.
I love that part of it. And I wholeheartedly agree with that. I have not seen divisiveness in this community. And I'll tell you, so before I came to this community, so I landed in Cary like everybody else, right? We came there, we landed in Cary, and then we went down to the Quay. Shout out to the Quay. We love the Quay.
Yes, so
and
Quay.
We went over there and we loved it there. But as I tell my clients as a realtor, don't choose your house based on what school zone you're going to be in, because next year it could be totally different. And that's what happened. So we were in the Quay and they were going to go to Holly. We were right next to Bagels Plus, and they were going to Holly Springs. And once my son graduated, we got switched. And now my daughter was going to have to go to Fuquay. So I said, okay, well, we love Fuquay, but not that much. We're going to choose another path. And we said, we visit a lot of schools. We said, Apex, man, Middle Creek, wow, I like it. I like the diversity. I like the feel. And so my daughter went there and she thrived, man. Again, Ashley, 4.0 cheerleader, Apex Middle Creek, graduating right now. We got the call. We already got the call. Charlotte, we'd be there. But I agree, accepted, right? And when you look back at the history of this place, has some of the richest history that I have heard. And I'm a historian. I consider myself an amateur historian. And oh my goodness, I can't even, when TJ and them when Calabria's up in there and they start dropping the jewels, man.
They're doing it. Yeah, they're doing
wow.
a job.
I want to ask you, why do you think it is, even yourself, you are observant, you're paying attention, you're looking for the purpose to get behind something, you're paying attention, but even still, you can't somehow see the forest for the trees. And it's somebody else that is on the outside that can see clearer for you. Why do you think that is?
I go back to, now faith is a substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. I truly believe that if we could really clearly see everything, you've heard this before, we were screwed all up. and it takes that stepping out and really listening. Listen, like, and really listen, like being intentional. And that's when everything just opens up and you take that step because you heard what was said.
Yeah.
And I would share this because you said, what's going on, Jacques? What's going on right now in 2026?
That's right.
You're 1 year. I'm listening.
For that voice.
I've heard the voice.
Come on now, just go ahead, just drop it, man. Just drop it for the people. The people want to know, man. They want to hear it, man. Tell us, man. Let me ask you this. Okay, I got a good one for you, right? So you're listening, right? You're looking, and you're listening, and you've heard a voice already. I know you're gonna share it with us, but I want to know, what did the lieutenant see in you? Specific, what did he see that you didn't see at that time? What was it that he saw in you that you didn't know was in there?
That lieutenant told me that you're going to lead a lot of people one day. He said, I see it. Wow. And I didn't, and I was like, what do you mean? He said, that's all he kept saying. He said, you got it. He kept saying, you got it. You're going to lead a lot of people. And I say, you're wrong. You don't really understand how I'm shaking. Like I'm sitting here nervous talking to you. No, I don't have the confidence. Oh my goodness. But it's a really good question. How can someone else see it? We need those people in our life.
We need that so much. I think of my son, 21 years old. I think of the kids that I talk to. I know you take some time to talk with them. I know you're scheduled from 6 to 9. I know at 9 o'clock, you're like, man, because when I talk to them, they already know it. Yeah. They already know. They tell me, look, I already know the girls. When you talk to the girl, she's going to say this. This how you never even had a girl. They already know it, right? So it's a blessing if somebody can see something in you that you don't see in yourself that can help you to lead you. But how do you know who to listen to? What was it about some of these voices that stepped in your life that allowed you to say, although I'm thinking A, maybe B is it? What was it? Like, how do you know who to listen to?
The word trust, and it's like there is a risk in taking the step always of faith. But once you take the step, things start to connect. And then, okay, this just happened. It's connected to that. It's got to be. This is it. And so if that person has shared something that has worked before, I'm going to listen to him even more because the trust is there. There's a connection. But I do believe this also. There is an expiration date for some people who give you that advice. I think there's a cap, and then other people come in. That's what's happened to me.
Sure.
And they take you to another level.
No, that makes a lot of sense.
Because I truly think people get used to, they see you here, and there's a ceiling, maybe, because they know who you are right here. But other people's like, they haven't seen that part, but they see something bigger. And this has happened. Those same people are like, well, I don't see you doing that. Like, there are people who told me great things, like, you're going to do great things. But hearing I'm going to be mayor, they would have been like, I don't know.
Not that great.
Not that great. You
calm
can even
down.
take it back, calm down. Yeah, chill out. You got too much faith. No, but even your family can be that way.
Sure.
Think about it, because they know you, like they're around. They see right here.
Come on.
It's just the way it is.
They seen you since this age.
Yeah.
They knew you when you made all those mistakes.
Yes.
They saw you make all those mistakes. Ain't no way that this guy that made all these mistakes right here is going to
That's right.
stay right here.
There it is. It's comfortable. We're comfortable with you being right here.
But you were a dreamer.
I've always been a dreamer.
You were looking out that window while you were burying them plates in the backyard.
Mom, I don't want to wash these dishes. I'm buried. Hey, my brothers were part of it too. I'm putting them all out there.
Put them all out there. We gonna go.
All y'all out there.
If anybody's looking for some plates right now.
Forks, spoons, all of it is out there in
It's
that
back
field
there.
behind
It's
601st
back there.
Street.
So, let me ask you this, right? Because I mean, it seems like you've been blessed, and we've been lucky to have some people tell us some good things, and drop a little jewel that we can kind of grab onto. And you said some important pieces. You said trust. Right? You got trust in this person that is telling you this thing already, so you're willing to listen. And evidence. Something happened over here.
That's right.
And then something happened here, and that went right along with what they were saying. Those dots connect. So there's that evidence. There's that trust already there. So I can kind of take that step. But what should the youth or anybody who's looking for that piece, they're like you, they're listening, they're waiting to hear a voice. What do you think they could look for in a mentor? What kind of qualities? You said there's that trust, right? And that trust is based off of some things. What type of qualities what advice would you give to someone looking for a mentor, and what type of qualities they should look for in a mentor?
It's for me, it's simple now, being 56 years old. I'll say this: if an individual is telling me, "Hey, I'm going to shape you, I'm going to counsel you, mentor you to be a millionaire," and then I'm looking at what they have or don't have,
You don't see the million.
I don't see the evidence. Like, why you? How you going to tell me? Okay, I'm just use that example.
Sure.
I truly believe a tree is known by the fruit that it bears. Okay, if the fruit is not there, I'm not sure if I want to partake from that tree.
Is this the right tree?
Is this the right tree?
That's
That's
key.
the
I
question.
love that.
Is this the right tree? The evidence is going to be there. And then here's what I'll say. While this individual told me, this lieutenant, why do you see this in me? I'm asking, well, how can you help me get there? I need to start asking questions. How can you help me? Because if they're there, they should be there to help you along the way.
If they see something already, well, tell me some more and keep.
That's right. Yes.
Wow,
and they're going to continue to encourage me along the way. It's not going to be a one and done. So that is my advice.
That's what a mentor looks
that's what
like,
a mentor
right?
looks like. Yeah.
Wow.
Good or bad, they're right there. They're going to continue to show up. And here's, okay, spoiler alert. You probably can relate to this.
Come on.
That circle is very small. You don't have a lot of mentors.
You don't get that.
You don't get that. It's going to be a few, man, that are real.
Man, I tell my son, and if you get one good friend, you're lucky. You know what I mean? If you get one mentor, you lucked out. You
That's
know
right.
what I mean? You
That's
should be super happy, right? You didn't have a background full of people to say this is how it's done, and here's an example, and look at him, and you could do it just like him. But you found that gumption to just go ahead and do it. What would you say to the next generation of leaders that are looking for that gumption, right? They want to believe in themselves. They have an idea, and they don't know if this is just a fleeting something or if they should really go with it. What do we want to tell the next generation of leaders if they're thinking about getting involved?
If you're thinking about it, there's a reason. Why wouldn't you try? It's just that's what I had to really come to realize. Why wouldn't I do it? And you have to get there, But I'm looking at whoever that is and encouraging you. Like if you want to try it, just go for it. I tell my son that every single day. Go for it. Go for it. Go for it. That's it. I mean, and it seems so simple. Go for it.
You can't know what is out there for you if you don't put your foot in that water.
You got to take the step.
You gotta put that gold shoe.
You gotta put that gold shoe down. You gotta do it. Yeah,
step on out.
You can't be wearing gold shoes around here either. Okay, we'll see.
Right.
I was told that, by the way.
Of course. Listen, one thing I've learned is that you definitely have done it your way. Frank Sinatra style.
I love it.
If you could go back to that shy kid in the Justice Heights, man, if you could just sneak and just be by that window and just he's looking and you could just whisper something in his ear, man, what would you tell him?
I would tell him, I know you've seen a lot, but the reason you see that is because I have a different plan. And I'm going to take you out of there in one of the most unexpected ways you'll ever dream of. But you got to trust me and you got to step.
That's amazing. That is deep. That's deep. And hearing that voice, finding that gumption, that motivation, whether it's that video online, whether it's that, that person in the neighborhood, that's lieutenant, that coworker, whoever it is, right? Get away from those people that are telling you that you can't do it, that are telling you you can only go here.
That's right.
Get away from them. I don't care who it is.
I don't care who it is. Get away from them. They could be close.
It could be as close could get. Get away.
Get away.
Get away. Because you won't know unless you try. That's amazing. That's amazing. That's a word right there, man.
Yes.
So look, we're gonna go. I've got this last section, right? This last segment that we have, being in the barbershop here, we talk freely. Nobody's gonna hear us, but we call this one a little off the top.
A little off the top.
A little off the top.
I love it. I love that.
A little off the top, right? This is our rapid fire kind of thing where we just coming right off the top and we're just gonna answer with, and I know you kind of do this already, right? You don't want to see the questions beforehand. You want to just come in and just be Jacques.
Yes. Yeah.
So that's what we're gonna do right now. So one of the number one questions that I had, you stayed in your assignment every time. That you stayed in it long enough for the picture to clear up and for that next thing to be very obvious, right? You listen as you start coming into those times, and you were chief, and you're like, man, I'm listening. Somebody told you could retire right now. It's extra 2 years. You already got them in the bag already. You didn't even know that.
Didn't even know.
You didn't even know that. But people saw something in you that you couldn't, and you didn't see, but you just kept going anyway. You just kept walking. You just kept going, right? And you're here now. And so you said 56 years old. I want to talk about diet. I want to talk about health, right? Your schedule runs from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m.
For the most part.
Sometimes. What do you need to do to keep yourself in the position to be able to have such a rigorous schedule? What are some of the things that you do that allow you to show up like that?
Man, thank you. If I'm not pouring inside, I can't give you anything. I don't have anything to give you. Every morning, I'm waking up. and I'm giving thanks to God, praying, and I'm in my Bible studying the Word. Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays, I'm in a men's group. It's virtual, and that's about an hour and a half. And it's just a breakdown of the Word and just sharing things about, what men go through,
Yeah.
And then it's on to the gym. I gotta take care of myself first. And then I come back home, fix the missus a cup of coffee.
Yes, sir. Smart
and
man.
I walk my dogs. And then it's game time.
So that routine right there, you start off, you're taking care of the soul.
That's right.
And the body, and then the mind could go do what needs to be done.
And then I fall asleep listening to this is
What is
my
this?
AirPods, and I'm listening to faith-driven videos. I fall asleep. AirPods,
Wow.
YouTube rolling. That's what I do.
Wow, man. So that's what fills your cup.
That's what fills my cup.
Wow, man. That's a beautiful thing. I think, in this day and age where so many different conversations about, do you know the way? What is the way? At the end of the day, you got to do what fills your cup.
Man, I love how you did that.
That's awesome, man. I really appreciate you. Look, you got a couple fans out here. Yes. So let me ask you this then, right? We talked about, do you believe your steps were ordered, right? And you said, yeah, you think about that and you believe that this had to be some kind of divine plan. There's no way that somebody just rolled the dice and it just happened like this, right? These people coming into your life at the penultimate moment to tell you, right, just go ahead. And Calabria is like, look, the mayor just called me and he's like, he wants you another 4. And you're like, no. You're like, he's calling because he know. He knows, right? You stayed in those assignments. You didn't question it. You said, that makes sense, and I trust you, and those pieces connect, and so I'm going to go with it. What do you think is one of the main limiting beliefs that hold people back from being able to just say that I'm just going to do it? What are those limiting beliefs, those thoughts that are going through their mind that is hindering them from just saying, man, I'm just going to go out there and be great and do all the things? What are those thoughts that are holding people back?
I think about President Barack Obama.
Shout out Barack
44.
Obama.
Shout out, sir. 44 president of the United States.
Yes, sir.
And he knew where he was headed. Okay. I truly believe that, and I've heard him say that, but there were steps along the way. One of the things I look at other leaders who have accomplished so much, they all say the same thing. They didn't compare themselves to who had been there before. They just went out in faith and did it. And I think comparison is a thief. It's always a thief. Comparison. Stop comparing yourself.
Come on, that's a good point.
Even in where you're headed, don't look at how you can see it, but that might not be your path. But you can get there.
Don't compare your way with someone else's way.
That's it.
Your way might be a whole new. You might be blazing a path for the next people to come.
That's it. I truly believe that. I'm locked into that. Comparison is a thief.
Man, do you know the joy in not worrying about living up to someone else's expectations?
That's it. That's the thief. That's the identity theft.
I like that.
That's the crime.
That's the identity theft right there. That's it. That's the main one, because seriously, in our day and age and the technology and the stories and the way that they come at us, you know what I mean? It's very difficult to not say, man, I know I'm looking at my followers right now. I'm saying this podcast, how many they got and how many episodes. And so it's very difficult. But if you just run your race.
Run your race. That's it. Just run your race.
Man. So let me ask you this then. In the process of running your race, right? You're overcoming these limiting beliefs. You're not trying to subscribe to these limitations they're putting on you. Was there something that you had to unlearn about yourself that allowed you to continue to grow?
Yes. I learned how to swim. I don't know if you saw the video, but it was only 4 years ago.
Really?
Yeah. Because my mom told me over and over, do not get in the water, you'll drown. I developed a fear of getting in deep water until my police buddies, when I go in the police department, those guys, they had boats and they said, hey, come on, we're going to Jordan Lake. And I was like, no, I ain't going to Jordan Lake. I'm not going to Jordan Lake. No.
I don't go down there. That's not for me.
No, it's not for
that
me.
was that limiting belief right
me.
there. That is not for me. That's
they
for somebody else.
They said, you going. Sergeant said, you going. You going to roll with us or what? I went. Wow. But I put a vest on. And I remember the first time, man, I tried to.
You didn't jump in that water.
I did not jump in that water. I edged myself off the boat and tipped. But I broke through it. And I remember when I hit the water, I started panicking. And they said, relax. I can hear it now. Relax, just relax. It's going to hold you up. Wow. And that spoke to me that day. And it did. I just said, oh, I'm floating.
So it took you to do less and stop fighting.
Stop fighting.
And just it was simple.
It was simple. Now, I didn't learn how to swim at that time. Then they put me on a jet ski. I started riding a jet ski. I fell off a jet ski in the water, floating, no issues. Then I did the inner tube.
Yeah.
All that stuff.
Oh my goodness. My buddy just told me, man, you're gonna come play this disc golf. You're gonna come play this disc golf. I said, that's not for me.
Right.
That's not. I don't do that. You're gonna come play. Man, we were down Harris. Oh, beautiful, walking around in the trees in the lake, and where y'all at? Sunday we gonna play disc golf. Different parts of yourself, and I think that's what this community does, right?
Yeah,
it pulls those pieces out of you that you didn't even know were in there.
Yes, we limit ourselves.
I love it.
Now, it was later on, a lady walks in my office. She said, hey, I have this nonprofit. I want you to be the face of it, and it's called Carolina Swims. I'm here to help young boys in black communities.
That's right. Please.
Swim, because we're seeing the alarming rates of deaths occurring in
the black community, it's very different. The drowning, and we have a problem.
And I said, there's one problem. I don't know how to swim.
I'm one of them.
And she said, deal. She said, I'm going to teach you.
Wow.
I'm going to teach you how to swim if you be the face of my organization as the mayor of Apex. I said, deal.
So you can swim now.
I can swim.
Let's give it up. What's her name?
Oh man,
what's the organization?
Carolina Swims.
Carolina Swims. Let's just give it up one time for Carolina Swims.
Swims.
Thank you very much. Keep doing that. You're doing the Lord's work.
That's
You're doing the Lord's work, because Lord knows that in our community, we don't have a lot of pools all the time, right? We're not always living on the coast and near the water, and the access is a huge part of it, right? So when you're not familiar with things, then you can grow, away from it. Right, so that's good. Keep doing that, and everybody, y'all need to get in the water. Stop playing. If you live here in North Carolina, I don't know what you're doing. It's too much water out here. Where you been? You can't stay in the house. All right. So one of the last questions I have for you, right, is about the goal of this podcast, which is to inspire the next generation of leaders. When I go to these events, when I just went to the Pig Fest, and we're going to do Shop Local, and let's give it up one time, which is exclusive. I just got the word back. I'm going to be at Apex Juneteenth this year.
Let's go.
I got a spot. They locked me in.
All
so,
right.
From the peak, we're going to be down there. I can't wait to see y'all. That is one. I mean, before I ever came to Apex, right, I was close by and driving by, and I would see this banner, and it would say like Pig Fest or something like that. And I'd be like, that's not for me. You know what I'm saying? That sounds like that's not for me. But the Juneteenth festival 1 year, maybe 3 years ago. I just happened to be Hugh.
Okay.
Hey, come on, you got the festival Juneteenth. He's God, but Hugh you're the mayor. He's the minor. Right, he's keeping the community tight too. He tells everybody what's going on. Like, so he told me, "Oh yeah, the festival's coming Juneteenth." I said, "Okay, I got Apex Juneteenth. What they gonna have? Can we get some ribs or anything? Like, if they got anything down there, I'm gonna be. I don't have no expectation of what is going. Man, when I showed up, multicultural, educational, and real. Right?
Real.
And artists, solid message, delivery, everything. They just dropped a little jewel on my last episode. We ain't released it yet about this Juneteenth, so I can't put it out.
I'm excited.
I can't put it out.
Yes, sir.
But this one's gonna be special. Make sure you don't miss this Juneteenth. But the question that I have around that, and like I said, our goal is to motivate the next generation of leaders. And if someone is out there right now, they say, man, I love what you guys are talking about. I want to be a part of Apex. I don't care, 8 to 80, whoever they are. What's a first step they could take to becoming a leader in their own community, whether it's Apex or whether it's abroad anywhere? What is a first step someone could take to becoming and getting around some of those people that might have a voice or a word for you, just to get in the lexicon of what's happening? What would be a good first step you suggest?
It's interesting. You talked about Juneteenth, and TJ, my son-in-law, TJ did that. He was a young man, and he came to me. He said, I want to get involved in a community. I want to be a leader. How do I accomplish that?
That's right.
And I said, wow, we got many things you can do.
Yeah.
And at the time, it was the West Street Park. We were about to start planning. We wanted to just change the landscape there, and it's the historic Black Park and Black community. So we want to do something different there. So we have a steering committee, and I said, I'm going to put you on the steering committee.
Yeah.
Because we need the young generation. We need your ideas in your mind to really make sure it takes care of us in the future as well. So that was how he did it. He came to the mayor, okay, which I will encourage anyone. I'm very accessible. Call me. My number's on the internet. Come on. Let's have a conversation, and I'll find an opportunity for you. I have a mayor's internship program.
Bingo.
That they can be involved in 2-year commitment. We do some amazing things, but it really allows them to be a part of local government and grow their leadership skills. It's a great program. So that's another way.
You have put so many things in place, so much innovation just to reduce the barrier of entry, right? Like, bring everybody closer. And I see that, man. I see the stories, the Hollands and all these people who just come to you and you find a place. You say, well, there is no we can't. Let's talk about it and see what we can do.
Let's go.
It's a can-do mentality.
Yes. There's nothing we can't accomplish when we work
What
together.
you are saying is not just political speak. If they come to you, you have the evidence that if it makes sense, we're going to get it done.
We're going to get it done. I just need for you to be a part of it. I just need for you to step up. And I don't know what you're thinking. I do know that I know Johnny over here has this resource and Jill has this. And I can bring everyone together to make it work. Man, that's what I do all day.
You've been doing that since the skate park. It's amazing, man. And you have not had this hierarchy of ideas and who's able to have an idea, who's able to contribute. You've taken little pieces from whoever was willing to contribute, and you made it into what this is today. So, I just want to say thank you so much for doing that, man. You made a place here that's unique. It's a vibe here. We were talking about culture and stuff. And, one of the things about the culture of Apex, I think, is really in the events and the festivals. And that's when I see the culture of Apex come out. And it's the people, and they really are together, and they really are just celebrating. And, you know, black, white, Puerto Rican, whatever, you know, this is really about us making sure this is the best place that it could be.
That's it. There's a reason why everyone's trying to get here.
And I think we know what that reason is. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate you so much coming down here, man.
Yes, sir.
I'm so looking forward to what the future holds. I'm in. I'm all the way in, man. I'm about to come to the office and say what else I could do. But it's just amazing, and we invite everybody to get involved, man. The town website, Town of Apex, has so much information on there. You could just follow. If you view Instagram, go on Instagram. You don't, you know, whatever. There's so many entry points for you to get involved.
100%. Yes. Get involved. We need you.
The peak of good living.
Let's go.
Man, let's go. Thank you so much.
All right, man. Thank you.
Oh, man. That was wonderful. That is amazing, brother.